Right now, as you're sitting there watching this video, there may be something quietly putting stress on your nerves. It's not a rare illness. It's not some mysterious virus. It's something you likely consumed today. Maybe it was part of your breakfast. Maybe it was in your lunch. Maybe you're having it right now while watching this. And the concerning part is that many people have no idea that this one substance over time can slowly and silently disrupt the health of their nervous system. I'm talking about the tingling in your fingers that you've been brushing off, the burning feeling in your feet that wakes you up in the middle of the night, the numbness that gradually moves up your legs and makes it feel like you're walking on cotton. If any of that sounds familiar, please don't scroll away, because what I'm about to share could help you better understand what's happening and how to protect your nerves before the damage becomes long-lasting. My name is Melani Sander, and for years I've worked with patients who come to me frustrated and confused because their bodies are changing in ways they don't understand. They sit across from me and say, "Doctor, my feet feel like they're burning. Doctor, my hands don't feel the same anymore. Doctor, I keep dropping things and I don't know why." When I begin asking about their daily routines, what they eat, what they drink, what they regularly put into their bodies, the pattern often points back to the same source. And yes, I use strong language when I describe it, because when consumed in large amounts, it can truly act like a toxin in the body. Before I tell you exactly what it is, you need to understand how your nerves function. Once you grasp this, everything else will make much more sense. Your nervous system is like the electrical wiring of your body. Billions of nerve fibers run from your brain down your spinal cord and branch into your fingers, toes, organs, and skin. These nerves transmit signals. They tell your brain when something is hot so you can pull away. They help your feet sense the ground so you can walk steadily. They regulate your heartbeat, digestion, and bladder. Processes you rarely think about. These nerves are extremely delicate. They're protected by a covering called the myelin sheath, which works like insulation around an electrical wire. When that insulation becomes damaged, signals can become weak, distorted, or inconsistent. That's what neuropathy is: damage to the nerve fibers and their protective covering. And once the damage progresses too far, recovery becomes much more difficult. Now let me share the number one substance I repeatedly see affecting nerve health in my patients. And I need you to listen carefully, because this isn't something heavily advertised. Companies have invested billions making sure people continue consuming it regularly. It's sugar, refined sugar, processed sugar, high fructose corn syrup, all forms of added sugar. In excessive amounts, sugar is one of the biggest contributors to nerve damage and neuropathy symptoms worldwide, and many people don't realize it until the effects are advanced. I know some of you may be thinking, sugar? Really? Isn't calling it a poison a bit extreme? I understand that reaction, but let me explain what happens in the body when sugar intake remains high for long periods. When you consume sugar, your blood glucose rises. That's normal. Your pancreas releases insulin, and glucose moves into your cells for energy. In balanced amounts, the system works well. The issue is quantity. The average person today consumes between 17 and 22 teaspoons of added sugar daily, sometimes even more. The human body was never designed to handle that level consistently. Our ancestors likely consumed the equivalent of 2 to 4 teaspoons of natural sugars from whole foods. Today, we consume 5 to 10 times that amount, day after day, year after year. When blood sugar stays elevated for extended periods, a process called glycation occurs. Sugar molecules attach to proteins and fats, forming compounds known as advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds increase oxidative stress and inflammation throughout the body. One of their primary targets is nerve tissue. The tiny blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to nerves can become impaired. When those vessels don't function properly, nerves receive less support. Over time, this can lead to degeneration. Excess sugar also promotes chronic inflammation. While short-term inflammation helps heal injuries, ongoing inflammation from consistently high sugar intake is different. It can directly impact nerve fibers and damage the protective myelin sheath. When myelin is compromised, nerve signals can become irregular. Pain signals may fire when there's no clear reason. Normal sensation may fade. Balance can suffer because the nerves in the feet aren't communicating efficiently with the brain. This is why some individuals with neuropathy experience stumbling or falls. And here's something important. This doesn't only affect people with diagnosed diabetes. You do not need to have diabetes for high sugar intake to impact your nerves. There is such a thing as pre-diabetic neuropathy, and research shows that even people with normal standard blood sugar readings can still develop sugar-related nerve symptoms. Routine blood tests aren't always sensitive enough to detect early nerve stress. By the time fasting glucose or A1C levels appear elevated, damage may have been developing quietly for years. I once treated a woman in her early 50s who was desperate for answers. She had seen multiple doctors. She was told it was anxiety. She was told it was stress. She was prescribed medications that didn't address the root issue. Her feet burned intensely at night. Her hands felt numb. She struggled with small tasks like buttoning her shirt, yet her standard blood tests looked normal. When I reviewed her diet in detail, the pattern became clear. Without realizing it, she was consuming close to 30 teaspoons of added sugar daily, not from candy bars, but from sweetened coffee creamer, sugary breakfast cereal, sauces, dressings, snack bars, processed foods, and flavored yogurts. When we conducted more detailed evaluations, including glucose tolerance testing and nerve studies, the connection became obvious. Her chronic sugar exposure was placing continuous stress on her nerves. Inflammation levels were high. Small fiber nerves responsible for pain and temperature sensation were significantly affected. We immediately began eliminating added sugars from her diet, not just cutting back, but removing them. And I want to clarify something important. I'm not referring to natural sugars found in whole fruits and vegetables. Those come with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that support healthy processing. I'm talking about added sugars, white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and hidden sugars in sauces, breads, dressings, yogurt, protein bars, and packaged foods. Added sugars are present in countless grocery store products because they increase flavor and encourage repeat consumption. Within 3 months of removing added sugars and making additional supportive lifestyle adjustments, her symptoms improved dramatically. The burning in her feet decreased by roughly 60%. The numbness in her hands began to lessen. She was able to button her shirt again.